Hey, this is Dude, and throughout this series, I've tried to beat Sonic Robo Blast 2 while collecting as few rings as possible. It's been a long journey, but we've reached the end with our final character, Metal Sonic. He has almost all the qualities of Sonic, but he also has the ability to hover in midair as long as he keeps speed, and can break spikes and run over water when at top speed. But before we begin, and I can't believe we have to say this, we have one last correction to make. In Egg Rock Act 1 as Sonic, we originally needed to use a whirlwind shield to collect only 4 rings while bouncing off a spring to reach the end. But with some more attempts, we can make it while only collecting 2 rings, which means that Sonic's final count, which I'm absolutely sure of, despite saying that 1,000 times in previous episodes just to be proven wrong, is 27 rings. I don't have anything to say. I'm speechless on how I screwed up so badly with the original video that we cut down Sonic's ring count by more than half. But forget about Sonic, let's focus on his metal counterpart as we cover the final character in SRB 2. Green Flower Act 1 is easy as usual, letting us speed past everything. Act 2 has us taking the same route as Sonic, Amy, and Fang. Use a spring to grab a whirlwind shield, go through a cave, hit the edge of a spring to avoid its rings while still being able to bounce, and use that whirlwind shield to jump on some trees and then over a wall. The boss doesn't matter, so we just beat him up. Techno Hill starts with us taking the top path because it's easier, and then grabbing a whirlwind shield to jump on this thing on the ceiling and reach the end of the level. Act 2 really starts to show us how useful the hover is, as you can use it to go under this giant wall without having to use an elemental shield. The boss doesn't matter, so we just beat him up. Deep Sea Zone just has us taking the same path as all the other characters, and Act 1 can be beaten without using a single bubble in the underwater section. Act 2 is the same thing. Get off the slide as quickly as possible and take the route from there, and the boss doesn't matter, so we just beat him up. Want to skip the first part of Castle Eggman Act 1? Well, you can use these platforms, which I didn't know existed until now, to get high up enough to hover over to this launching thing and skip a good chunk of the stage. Ignore some springs along the way and grab a whirlwind shield to climb the tower before the collapsing bridge. Act 2 just has us taking the exact same route as all the other characters because it works, no real reason to change it. The boss doesn't matter, so we just beat him up. For Act 1 of Arid Canyon, hover off to the right and enter this cave. Grab a whirlwind shield after you get out and turn around onto this pillar. Hover over to this bridge and use the whirlwind shield to climb these rocks in order to get high enough to hover all the way over here, and the hard part of that act is over. For Act 2, take the same route as Sonic and Tails and try to keep up, not as in speed, but as in don't fall down to a lower route. Once you reach this ramp, jump or hover over to this spot, and then go over here and hover onto this whirlwind and continue on your way. Don't forget to grab a force shield and use it in your one shot at the minecart section at the end to get only 9 rings, skipping part of it with a precise jump. The boss doesn't matter, so we just beat him up. We could speed through most of Red Volcano, but you might want to grab a whirlwind shield and use it to completely ignore the last rolling ball section, grabbing an attraction shield after losing your whirlwind shield, even though the fact that it attracts rings means we have to give it up before hovering to the end of said rolling ball section. For Egg Rock Act 1, go right at the start and just kind of take it from there. You will have to collect 1 ring in order to squeeze into a vent, and 2 rings after bouncing off a spring at the end, bringing our total to 12. In Act 2, collect 1 ring in order to flip the gravity, go right, and once again just take it from there, collecting 9 more rings in a vent to bring our total to 20 before reaching the disappearing platforms room, which thankfully can be hovered over. For Metal Sonic's race, which I'm pretty sure we are racing a hologram in since we are Metal Sonic, you and your opponent are exactly the same in power, with the difference that you don't suck at video games. You can even break through the spikes, and since bosses don't matter, all that's left is to beat up Metal and Eggman. Well, we've reached the end, and our final count is 20 rings, which is also the same as Knuckles. I've done it, every character completed, but you may have noticed I made a lot of corrections throughout the series. So say you wanted to just know about Sonic's run, you'd basically have to watch every other video as well. So I'll be making one last video covering all the characters and their fully updated runs. So stay tuned for that. If you like this game and want to play it yourself, you can download it for free on PC at srb2.org. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out my other content. Goodbye, peoples!